Hello, Brian. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to this. I've been working all week at the shop and thought I could sneak it in maybe during a downtime, but I was not able to. So I am getting it in right now because it's the right time, right? So I figured I was thinking about it, and I think I think I'm just going to do a full Celtic because I think a full Celtic is going to tell me what I need to know, and then if I need to just want to say hi, and if I need to move further, if I need to pull more cards or clarify, I will. But I just kind of figured that the Celtic always gives me really good insight about where you're at, what you should be doing, what's the advice, all of that. So. That being said, I'm going to shuffle, cut the deck with my left hand, and then I'm going to lay out the cards, which you won't be able to see, but I will hold them up so you can see them. Interesting so far. You'll be interested to see. We got interesting. Oh, we get 2 for the foundation. Okay. All right. And I'm using my Nightmare Before Christmas deck because this is one of the few ones I have at home, but I have to tell you it's a very cool deck, and it does help. It does help me read. It's whimsical. And as you can see behind me, my house is whimsical. I have nothing but whimsical stuff all around, as you can see. All right. Interesting. Current situation. We have a suited pair. We have a Hierophant and a High Priestess, in other words known as the High Priest and the High Priestess, or the Hierophant and the female Pope. So this is a suited pair. This is a spiritual suited pair. We have Taurus and we have Cancer. Again, not so much that I'm concerned about the signs. This is more of the fact that it's a spiritual suited pair. This is your current situation. So honestly, this seems like a very much fated relationship. Even if she has met somebody else, even if she doesn't want to let you go. And that might be why. This might be a karmic connection. This might be something that both of you have to learn from. This could be a situation where you learn that, hey, I'm not excited about the situation, but at the same time, I don't want to let you go either. So the Hierophant and the High Priestess, again, we have 2 major arcanas, and they are a suited pair. They are a suited pair. So they're kind of like a two of a suit, but they're even more. They're a spiritual pair. So interestingly enough, we go right for that. When I turned that over, I was like, oh boy, very strong connection. Very strong connection. And even with the current situation of her going outside of the relationship or whatever, it doesn't matter. This is still a super powerful, potent connection and a fated connection. It's destined. Okay. So what's in your headspace? We have the 10 of Cups. I mean, honestly, the 10 of Cups is a happy ending card. I mean, there are some things around it that lead me to believe that, okay, there's going to be some difficulties, but also I'm telling you, right now, it seems like you're doing what you need to do for peace and harmony. The 10 in your headspace, the 10 of Cups is exactly that. It is peace, harmony, things coming to fruition, happy ending, family, prosperity. It's all of these things, but it's Pisces energy. So it is reconciling or solving any problems for the best possible outcome, emotionally speaking. So again, this is in your headspace. So you kind of are, yeah, this is good. This is a good thing for you. And you feel and you know this is a good thing for you. And again, I wasn't sure how this reading was going to go because, I had my own thoughts about it. You know what I mean? It's like, uh-oh. But then it's like, wait a minute. And again, this is your reading. So this is how you're feeling with the situation. Now, when we get to the other cards, it's going to be the advice. But anyway, Love the 10 of cups in your headspace, because this is kind of like, hey, I'm going to make the most of this. This is going to be a happy ending here. So what's in your foundation? This is where I said there was two cards that wanted to come out. The first one is the 6 of Swords and the Star in reverse, which is Aquarius energy. So you said that she had an Aquarius rising, I think. It's interesting energy because this is very much Aquarius. Both of these cards are Aquarius. The 6 of Swords is about moving into calmer waters. It's about escapism. It's about also taking lessons with you and moving into something that's that feels less feelings and more that you know is right. So even though, and if we look at this, what's in your head is the 10 of Cups, which is peace and harmony, working on that. What's in your heart is a suited pair. So a spiritual divine pair. And what's in your foundation is this Aquarius energy of like, hey, this isn't the norm, but I'm willing to kind of see what happens here. So when we look at the 6 of Swords, it's about kind of, yes, it's a card of kind of going into calmer waters. A lot of people look at it as escapism or taking lessons with you and moving forward with those lessons. And then we have the Star. And I don't necessarily care that the Star is reversed. How I'm reading the Star is that this is the card that comes after the Tower. So when we look at, which is this kind of like, uh-oh moment, this, oh God, this is not what I was expecting. And again, her coming to you saying, hey, I've been seeing somebody else, was your Tower moment. And then you decided, okay, what's my wish fulfillment gonna look like? And we have the Star in reverse, which means that there's still hope, there's still wish fulfillment. You just have to regroup a little bit. It's like, oh, this isn't ideal, but I'm going to make the most out of this crazy information that I found out. And so the Star can sometimes also be kind of a change of dream and wishes. Like, this is not what I hoped for, but this is where I'm at. This is where she's at. This is where I'm at. This is where we are at. So it can be kind of like, sorry, lack of oxygen. Anyways, it can be kind of like, I didn't know this was going to be something that I was going to be able to handle. But both of these cards are Aquarius energy, and they both kind of talk about escaping or calm after the storm, and taking your lessons with you and then moving forward and renewal. That's I think the key word in the foundation is renewal. And what I like, it is in your foundation. Both of them wanted to come out. This Aquarius energy is about this renewal. And you can even look at it as breaking up a certain way of thinking, an old-fashioned or an old notion of how you wanted the relationship to be. So when we go to the recent past, we have the 7 of Wands. And the 7 of Wands is the card of, it's up to you. It's up to you to figure out what you want to do moving forward. This is in the recent past. This is about being proactive. This is about taking the offense. So instead of becoming defensive, or instead of becoming reactionary, you decided to kind of take the offense here. 7s in the tarot are kind of neutral cards. It's what you make of it. That's the 7 of Wands. That's the 7 of Wands. It's Leo energy. It's optimism, but it's also action. It's also action. It's like, well, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's do it. Let's try it. Let's do it. And then your near future is the 5 of Swords reversed. This is conflict resolution. This is, obviously the 5 of Swords upright is conflict. It's the need to, do I have to surrender here? What am I doing here? Is this the right choice for me? It can be inner conflict. It can be conflict with another person. Obviously, we're doing this reading about you and her. It's conflict resolution. Now, again, the 5s are about tests. The 7s are about kind of challenges. How are you going to handle this? The 5s are about tests from the universe. What are you going to do? Are you going to compromise? Are you going to resolve things? Are you going to move forward? And so everybody feels like, hey, this is the best course of action. That's what it is. It's a test of resources. So the 5 of Swords is kind of that test of, can I handle this? What do I think about this? What do I know about it? It's like research and development. It's like, I'm going to think about it, and all I can do is we can try it out and see. It's not the Five of Wands, it's more of the Five of Swords, which is a more cerebral thing, which is what you have to do first. You have to reconcile it first before you actually put it into action. So I do like this, actually. I do feel, based on this, that you've made the right decision. This is a really strong connection. It really is. It is. Capricorn and Scorpio, it's an interesting match. I do like the water signs with the earth signs, regardless of what your risings are. And even if you look at your risings, she's an Aquarius rising and you are a Aries rising, we're talking about symbiosis. Between the two of you, you have all four elements. So nice and balanced. And even if, and here's the thing too, in your current situation where you have the Hierophant and the High Priestess, what is kind of bookending you is a 7, which is, a challenge that you must face. And then you have a 5, which is a test. And so, yeah, coming and going, this is not going to be something where it's one and done. This is something that you're going to have to keep kind of, telling yourself, yes, this is going to work out. This is what I want, all of that. So, I hope that helps. We're going to go and see what the advice is. And again, Brian, if you need me to go back over any of this, let me know. I'm glad I chose to do it tonight because I really feel like the cards are super talkative. I'm in a spot. I had a kind of a calm day today. And I feel like the cards are very talkative. I'm glad I chose to do it at my house. I was going to do it at the shop. But sometimes I feel rushed at the shop because if I get a client or something happens, then I got to rush. This way, I can take my time and read things slowly. So now we're going to turn over the advice column. I'm very excited to see what the advice is. And I'm digging it so far. All right. So, yeah, and I love it because both of you are presenting as kings. I'm just going to put that right off the bat, is that you have a King of Cups and you have a King of Pentacles. You guys are both presenting as kings. Now, initially, you guys are a suited pair. Now you guys are both presenting as kings, where both of you are going to be actively involved with this relationship. So I don't want to jump ahead, but how you feel about the situation is the King of Pentacles. And so the King of Pentacles is, longevity. It can be stability. I hate to say it can be loyalty. Again, I know that we're dealing with a third party situation, but I do feel that she did come clean with you. And I do feel that she did take a chance with, being honest with you and saying, hey, I don't want to, I want both of you, or I want to, I don't want to let you go. And I think that this is new territory for you. But at the same time, if we look at this card, not necessarily as her energy, but as your energy dealing with her energy, you do feel like this is something that you're going to try, that this is something that could actually work, that this is a really practical solution. King of Pentacles is, he's the money king, but he's also the practical king. He's the one who is stable. It's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So, it's how you feel about the situation. You feel that there's, oddly enough, either a stability or a longevity or a reason to stick to this. So what's the advice from the cards? And I'm enjoying this too, Brian, just so you know, because I didn't know what was going to come out. Sometimes, in my mind, I think, when you first say this, I think to myself, oh no, he doesn't deserve that, blah, 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 blah. But then it's well, you know what? I can't say that. This might be something that might be okay. For you. So anyways, what's the advice from the cards? Now we have the 6 of Wands. So remember down here, we had the 6 of Swords. The 6 of Wands is victory. It is a card of trying to make the most of your external environment. It's peace, it's success, it is victory. Now, again, it's a 6. So that means that there's more to go. And you also have the 7 of Wands. So not only do you have the advice from the cards, which is saying there's victory here. The 7 of Wands is but what are you going to do with that victory? You have to keep continuing to move forward with this. So the advice of the cards is it's Leo energy. It's optimism. That doesn't mean that this wasn't difficult or that it's not, you're always going to feel this way. let's see what your obstacle is. I want to take an obstacle card that I'm going to pull from the bottom. Your obstacle, yep, not surprised to see, is the Page of Swords. And so the Page of Swords can be that wounded inner child, can be, this is only going to work if everybody sets boundaries, is upfront and honest, and is communicative. Okay, but that's going to be the challenge or the obstacle. That doesn't mean that's nothing you can't do, but this little Page of Swords comes with a message. And the message is everybody has to be clear with what's going on. Everybody has to communicate. Everybody has to be open and honest. And that will lead to this Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles can be about inner peace, stability. Feeling protected. Now, there is a little bit with the Four of Pentacles, this is more Capricorn energy. This is also about being realistic. Okay, it's not about, giving somebody too much leeway or, losing yourself in the situation, or I want you to be just as important. So, again, this is about your inner strength. And it's actually kind of that inner maturity. But I feel like the Four of Pentacles is also, there's a guardedness with the Four of Pentacles. So at any time, and again, that little Page of Swords is like everybody has to be upfront, honest about everything that's happening. Okay. Hopes and fears. We have the Judgment in reversed. So this is Scorpio energy. So when we look at the Judgment card, of course, the Judgment card is the card of rebirth. As we know, the Death card is the card of change and death, and something that has to go leave in order for it to be reborn. The Judgment card is after death, then what? Then what? Well, we want rebirth. We want renewal. So I'm going to read the fear of the Judgment card. It is reversed. So a lot of times the Judgment card in reverse can show being stuck in the past or ruminating on something and not being able to move past something. In other words, not being able to grow and be reborn. Kind of like, staying in the coffin and not getting out and not being available, not being present. So the fear is, not being present in the situation. And it can also be just, stuck in the past. It can be kind of stuck in the past. And that could be your past programming. That could be, if you have a hard time getting over feeling betrayed or whatever, like something like that. But once you make this decision, the Judgment card is saying, use your best. And just because you make this decision now doesn't mean that if something happens and you feel that she's being dishonest or that's not working for you, that's where that little Page of Swords comes in and says, okay, well, we got to have honesty here. And so the Judgment card in reverse, the fear is, not living in the moment or feeling like, oh no, what did I do? It's that kind of thing. Or did I do something that I can't take back or whatever? Now the Judgment card upright is saying there's no need to live in the past. It's time to move towards the future. It's time to head towards what you feel is the best decision. And hold on a second. I gotta let my dogs out. Oh, okay. It's not gonna let me pause it. Hold on a second. Sorry. Okay. I'm back. Sorry. I had to let my dogs out. Anyway. Okay. So the Judgment card is just this kind of fear that we have of something new. And it's just basically kind of like, well, we got to meet it head on, especially when it's reversed. So when it's reversed, it's kind of like we have this fear. It's not irrational. It's a rational fear of the renewal, of the rebirth, of like, okay, okay, now I got to move forward. And so I think it's both a hope and a fear. I think it's like a hope of the future, but of course it's also the fear. And it's a major, so I don't want to, poo-poo that because it is a major. And then your outcome is the King of Cups, which, like I said before, is you. But the King of Cups is also about emotional growth and emotional maturity and intuition and loving yourself and filling your cup up and also looking at love in a completely different way, I feel like, with this. It's also Scorpio. It's Scorpio energy. So again, you guys not only showed up as a spiritual suited pair, you guys are both showing up as kings. We have a King of Pentacles and a King of Cups, which are your signs. And then again, we have a lot of the Aquarius in here too, which is kind of like the renewal process. Thinking outside of the box or whatever. But the King of Cups as a situation is, open, honest, unconditional love, that kind of thing, right? So I actually like this. It was not how I expected. I'm going to take out the majors and just read with the majors and see what happens with just the majors. We don't have a ton, but we have a couple. We have 4, and I just want to put them together. We have the Hierophant, the High Priestess, the Star, and the Judgment. So we start out again with the suited pair. This is the story here. This is why this reading is what's happening, because this is the story. Again, we have Taurus, and then we have Cancer. But when we look at this is a very spiritual, the Hierophant's very practical, very solid, very about institutions, about faith, all that. High Priestess is about the occult, the esoteric, the hidden, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, the allowing, the taking action. So that you guys are both here. This is your story. And so what comes after that is the Star. It's wish fulfillment, but it might not be what you would have figured out 2 years ago, a year ago, whatever, as your wish fulfillment. But it turns out that it's just a different roundabout way to getting to your wish fulfillment. And the outcome is the Judgment. It's like I said before, is that use your own judgment, use your own discernment, but also don't be afraid of the renewal. Don't be afraid of the rebirth, because the Star and the Judgment are both renewal cards. This is the card that comes after the Death card anyways. Or the Tower, I'm sorry, that comes after the Tower. So this is kind of like they're both known for renewal. And we also have Aquarius, we have Scorpio energy. So let's see what your obstacle is. First I'm gonna pull an obstacle to see what's a personal obstacle between you two, and then what's an obstacle with your situation. So between you two, it is the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm gonna read that as that she could be a potential challenge or obstacle in this. Hopefully, I do like the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is usually pretty open, pretty honest. And so when you look at the Queen of Pentacles as kind of an obstacle, it's her sign too. So when we look at this as kind of an obstacle, is that I think that I just hope she doesn't switch things up or change things around or, flip the script or any of that stuff. I hope that she can remain open and honest at this point. I do like the Queen of Pentacles, but when she shows up when the Queen of Pentacles kind of shows up as an obstacle, it's like, okay, so Queen of Pentacles is about unconditional love, abundance, fertility, creativity, honesty, all of those things. And so when she shows up as an obstacle, you want to make sure that those things are still, it's ticking all the boxes, that you still feel like not necessarily things are balanced, but the things are abundant between you two. So then what's the obstacle with potentially this renewal, this rebirth, this situation in general, is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So again, when I talk about a relationship that's destined and fated and the Wheel of Fortune comes up, it just solidifies that. And so when the Wheel of Fortune is reversed, this is going to be lessons. I mean, this is going to be a test for you. When we see the Star, the Judgment, and the Wheel of Fortune all reversed, we take the Star. It's like, oh my gosh, this isn't exactly what I would have said my wish fulfillment is, but okay, let's see. Let's see. Maybe I need to regroup and kind of figure out, maybe this could be my wish fulfillment. And then we look at the Judgment in reverse, like, oh my gosh, should I make a mistake? Is this what I want to do? You have to, you have to be present and be open to see if this is something that's going to work for you. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. And so that Wheel of Fortune is kind of the wheel of fate and destiny. The only way to know is to do it, is to spend a cycle with it, because the Wheel of Fortune represents the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. So Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius. And so what does that mean? That means everything has its season. You have to go through each season to figure out if this is something that you can do. It's also, for me as a reader, in a love reading, a card of either past life, or even if it's this life, it's destiny. So I really was surprised about how the cards played out. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, to be honest with you. And again, I try not to have preconceived notions, but it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just, it's kind of hard not to. I have my own opinions. So, or my own thoughts like, oh my gosh, if that was me, what I would do, you know? But I really liked how this played out. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I can revisit. I can take some clarifiers, or I can, expound on it. I think what I'm also going to do is take a picture of the spread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this video, and I'm going to take a picture of the spread and send that to you on Instagram too. So that is pretty much it. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. It's been a while. I mean, I haven't seen you since 2019 at that particular psychic fair, and but I'm glad you reconnected with me online. So this is great. So I hope you are well. I hope you have great holidays. Let me know if this resonates. Let me know how you feel about it, and we can keep in touch.